use my affiliate link to support the channel down in the description. We can just talk about the list, I guess, and the choices, not necessarily do like a pseudo deck profile. I think 3 Albion in a list like this works pretty well, since we have the Allure of Darkness. On top of that, we have the branded in white, so we want to up our dragon count already. So we can get the Borreload Furious on the side. You know, we can even go into stuff like Branded Banishment, like with it. And this just also ups our consistency a lot. So I really like running 3 right now in this format in general. Obviously, you can use the Branded Retribution, all that fun stuff. I think the Bestials here make a lot of sense to up your dragon count as well. And Magnamut just being a really good card right now, allowing you to go +1 and then also play around talents and then also banish stuff like Linkuriboh in the graveyard. So very good. Also, this is $118 main deck. That's quite cheap. I'm not gonna lie, that's quite cheap. Kyle B, it's not necessarily good, but man, Chimera support is fun. Yeah. What do you mean, the new support? Really? It's not that good? Yeah. I haven't seen it doing much in the OCG. To be fair, OCG doesn't really cook that much with Chimera. So yeah. We have the Maximus with the Nadir combo as well. Flared, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. We have the Maximus because we're running the Nadir. You can still run Nadir, guys. The question I get sometimes is like, should you run Nadir if you're not running Gimmick Puppet or Sanctifier? Yes. Still helps you set up Gimmick Puppet, or sorry, it still helps you set up your Mirror Jade and your other things. It can help you set up Branded Banishment. It can help you set up just Albion in the graveyard. Just get the things that you need to do, and also just mainly in this situation helps you play through hand traps. It's just a consistency piece. It basically reads Branded Fusion on the card plus a couple cards, so I think the card's very good still. And it warrants running it, especially with like stuff like Brand White and Brand Banishment. I want to be able to see those cards, enable those cards, get more pieces in my hand. So I think it's well justified. 3 Alubra, 3 Albaz. Nothing really to say there. And then we have 1 kit. I added in the kit just to give us more darks. It's a dark. It's something I always add into decks when I'm like, oh, I need another dark. And also, it's just like a way to get Branded Loss if I need to get that, because Brand Loss is going to be really good. I also think that we could do 2 Mercurier, honestly, but that might be a bit much. I just think Tragedy is better than Mercurier right now, unfortunately. Oh yeah, the new Talons Chimera is very good. Nice to see you in the chat, Kyle B. Nice to see you. We love your branded guides on the Facebook group, brother. So, yeah, I can't believe I actually caught up on all the chats. That was crazy. But yeah, I think someone asked me about Master Duel earlier. I would play Master Duel, but I just don't have any gems and I don't have the branded cards, so I need to grind out gems, but I don't have the free time to do that, so maybe I'll just do like, I don't know, like one day just invest some YouTube funds into it, or if you guys like, or if I do like a $50 like donation fund for it and just like buy gems for it. It's probably not even that much, right? It's like I have to get the branded pack and then I buy that pack for a bunch. It's just like, I think right now Master Duel branded, you should be running like 60 cards with like grass and all that fun stuff, but like maybe even a synchro build at that point. But I'm looking forward to doing a Master Duel stream at some point. 3 Cartesia. I just think it's super free. It's also a cheap card, so it's back on the, you know, it keeps up with the budget aspect of the of the deck. I think that also just being able to fusion out Cartesia on either your opponent's turn and also just recur her for Guardian Chimera plays, and then just like you know, just poly plays to get into Masquerade is really important in a build like this. So I think running 3 is fine, even though we're at 1 Grand Guignol to keep the price down. I think that we have incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous. This was suggestion from Long John Silver. I think that's it's actually a really cool option when you're not running Quem, because this allows you to, in your main phase, you know, special summon out the Albaz. I think that, oh wait, did I say it? I have the wrong one, don't I? Or which one should I run? Dogmatica? Probably the Dogmatica one, right? No, it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. I was like thinking, because we have the Nadir Servant, we could run that one, but I still think this one's better. It's like a cool little option, and also it's kind of free because you can special summon it. And then you have the Edgem Chains because we have the Frightfur Patchwork engine. We're running 2 with the 2 Frightfur Patchworks and the 2 Edgem Chains and the 2 Polys. I think that's a pretty good ratio. Like maybe I could up the Frightfur Patchworks or something, but I think that when you're running a Allure of Darkness build, it's just super free Allure of Darkness bait, worst case scenario if you need to unbreak your hands. Also, it allows you to play through hand traps, especially with the poly. And then you know, when you get Ash, you're like, okay, great, polymerization, and hopefully you have Albaz and, you know, other things in your hand, and you're still able to extend from there. Jake the Mountain Man, another channel member in the chat. I put Ecclesia a few days ago for kicks. I don't hate it. Really? Yeah. I don't hate it. We'll definitely have to test with it, but I don't think that it's a bad option whatsoever. I can't believe I actually overwrote my my normal branded deck for this. That's crazy. So yeah, and then where were we? Obviously the 3 Allure Darkness with 1 Mercurier, 2 Tragedy. We run the 2 Tragedy because we're on 3 Artesia, so it's kind of free. We can always get to the Aluber, and then also Allure Darkness. You know, best case scenario, we're going to go Allure Darkness, banish Tragedy, and then we'll still have Mercurier access. I would love to run 2 Mercurier in a build like this, but I think that's just kind of impossible at a certain point because of just, you know, because of the fact that you can't run too many bricks. So 3 branded fusion, 1 branded white. It was kind of the suggestion of our chat to run branded and white. We're running so many dragons, so it just makes sense. We also do have Borload Furious, so we're able to summon out that or Masquerade basically just for free. Why Summon Limit? I'd like Summon Limit. It's really good for playing past hand traps. So like I've always, you guys know, I've been an advocate of summons format. Because if you get hand trapped a couple times, you just end up flipping Summon Limit, and then they can't do anything. A lot of people are on spot removals in the main decks, or well, you know, they have to board in Cosmic basically. No Vanity. Is Nadir even worth it if Titanic Clyde can't summon Quem in the end phase to set Albaz in Grave? That's why I'm also like thinking maybe we could just like the more I'm thinking about it, that's the thing. I mean, Nadir's still a good card. We could just like remove the Maximus, right? Because Nadir's still a good card, especially when we don't have the Garura. Like we could just send the Albion. It's just another combo piece. I mean, I don't think I run 3 talents, honestly, but we could probably play 3 Edge Emperor maybe a talents. You guys tell me what I should run for my last card here. Kyle B, am I seeing 0 Quem? Have you been kidnapped? This is a budget build. So, I mean, obviously, if you, like, have the Quem, you can run the Quem over, you know, the ad-lib and kind of, like, adjust. But I'm trying to make this build for the people who, like, you know, just got into the game or want to just play branded and they don't want to spend a whole lot of money. They're able to take this build and still perform with it. I think overall the hands are actually looking pretty fire still. Like, this hand is kind of interesting, but still you can work with it. Nice. I mean, this still gets you to Aluber, and then you still have tactics if they ash your branded fusion. This hand kind of just loses to Imperm, but then you still have Super Poly. You could like set Albaz, make a Mirror Jade, and then go branded banishment. So, you know, stuff like that when you're looking for test hands and stuff like that. Kyle B, what change would you make if Sanctifier got nuked tomorrow? Well, this isn't my main deck, but what changes would I make? I mean, if Sanctifier got banned tomorrow, I would likely be making, just like throwing Adlib in my deck for sure. Maybe even add like definitely like 3 Cartesia maybe at that point, just like, and then maybe like patchwork stuff. Just fire players are crying for Sanctifier to get banned. True. All right. Yeah, no, I like the look of this, and then I think the tactics works out. The double brand red because we're running Albion, which is able to make brand red ultra live a lot of the time. Opening Forbidden Droplet. I think Forbidden Droplet's the best board breaker in the game right now. Spoiler alert. Also have another board breaker tier list coming out, and Droplet's gonna be at the top of it. Droplet's just like, in terms of board breakers, Droplet's at like the top right now. You're able to just use your own resources, so you aren't going neg on it, and then you're also able to get over any of the boards in the game right now. You're able to get over any fire deck with Droplet. You need Droplet against the fire decks. Like, if you're playing against fire decks and you don't have Droplet, like, you need tactics and thrust kind of thing, or like a nice normal summon Albaz with no Apo on board, against Fire King specifically. And then that's why I do like I think Talents is just so good right now going second, so that's why I'm like okay with going. Like, it'll be live going first. I can still like draw into cards, draw into like Blur Darkness, draw into Masquerade, access with like patchwork and like stuff like that, or like Borload. And then Droplet's just so good. I think Super Poly is still worth it for the Mud Dragon. Then also you can go Super Poly Mirror Jade. Like obviously if you have the Guru, I would probably also run the Guru, but this is kind of like for budget purposes, obviously. Like, elsewise, for budget purposes, obviously we'd have the Sanctifier, Quem, and some other things. So just have to make those decisions based on that. I want everyone to be able to play branded, and I think this build's actually quite solid even without certain card limits. After enough dailies, when I maxed out around 10k gems, I just burned 100 packs and down all the cards, and that's I have 12k SR and 2400 UR, or 2600 UR. Wow, that's a lot. I mean, that's what I should do. I just don't have a deck to grind dailies. Once I do, I could start doing that. It's just like getting in there. Because I've already done all my dailies on my main account. Michael Nagai, and I agree with 2 Tragedy and a 60 card deck with Allure Darkness. Completely agree. The Sword Soul Ecclesiarch fan. Jake the Madman, now that Voiceless is also abusing Sanctifier, it's more likely to get hit. I mean, that's certainly, like, could be a factor kind of thing. The thing is, though, I was going to chime in on that conversation earlier today, but I think that mainly when people are running branded Voiceless right now, they aren't running Sanctifier. Like, I've seen one list, I think, 1 or 2 lists run Sanctifier, I think, with a top. The rest of them are just doing Mirror Jade shenanigans. And I understand, but I think that there's a point to running Nadir Servant with Maximus with, like, Sanctifier and Jaugen that, like, that gives the Voiceless deck a lot higher of a ceiling than it normally has, and allows it to play through a lot of hand traps. So, you know, I think a lot of Voiceless players are kind of missing out right now when they're not running Sanctifier and Branded. I don't think it's the standard yet, unfortunately, or fortunately. Just putting Give and Take. We already did. It's a few dollar card, Liam. It's not budget. Do you like Magnum the Reliever? Oh yeah, we could do that too. Magnum the Reliever is pretty free when you're running a build like this, so we could take out Sprine for that. That like slots in super nicely. I'm trying to see how I can make this side deck like even cheaper. I just don't think there's anything to make it cheaper. What happens if Sanctifier gets banned, says Marley? We start running Adlib and start like looping Mirror Jade 3 times and like stuff like that. I mean, Mirror Jade Cartesia Quem control is so good right now. Like, you don't need Mirror Jade for the deck to be good. It's just like we're gonna have to play the deck a different way. Sanctifier won't be our auto win button. So yeah, any other questions on? I think we could talk about the side a little. I mean, we have the extra here. I mean, the brand banishment, I just think to give us a little bit more plays, obviously. Chimera, gotta run it. Borla Furious, we're running so many dragons with brand white. 2 Mirror Jade, gotta do it. 1 Magnum the Reliever because we're running Poly, and it's like pretty good just as a grind game thing to try to just get cards out of the graveyard. Then you're also able to draw a card and, you know, destroy cards. Stapelia, pretty good card, I've heard. 2 Albion, 1 Quertus, 1 Guignol because we would run 2, but we're on a budget build. It's a pretty good card. Allows you to send all your, allows you to send your Adlib, allows you to send your Albion, still Titanclad. Titanclad gets a little bit worse, but it's still worth to run. My opinion, we got the Quertus, like I said, the Lupellion. We just need 1 in my opinion, maybe 2, but I think 1's just fine. You can, as long as you correct Lupellion control, you never need more than 1 in my opinion, unless it's like a Kashtira format. That's why people were running 2 in Kashtira format. Oh, we have the Masquerade, obviously, because we do have the Brandon White and then Poly, so we can usually make this card. Usually live, just kind of free. Puts your opponent on pressure. It's not bad after you've like broken their board and can't kill them. Since you don't have Puppet, you probably just Masquerade them. Then you have Rinbrum, and then Rinbrum's really good. In a build like this, you're definitely going to have to be doing the Rinbrum control kind of thing a lot more. You're making sure there's an Albaz in the graveyard with him, so you can summon the Albaz on your opponent's side of the field. Or during your opponent's turn, rather, to make the Mirror Jade. 1 Titanclad just to still get over stuff like Dynamorphia and Towers, and then just also send Albaz in the end phase. And then with the Mudragon the Swamp for the super poly targets, because making Mudragon on a fire deck, calling fire basically completely shuts out the deck. You know, they aren't able to target their own fire monsters, since Mudragon makes it so you can't target the same element as it on either side of the field, so Promethean Princess can't even activate its effect in the graveyard. So I think it's still valuable to do that. And Garura also just being a $15 card is not conducive to being a budget friendly for the budget build, so I think that. Also with Nadir, I think it's more like you just send Albion, but on top, at the end of the day, I don't think we need Garura. There's not a lot of decks that play into Garura right now. So I think all you need is really Mudragon, or you could obviously just go set Albaz, make Mirror Jade. That's always been the classic with Sir Poly. We kind of did the deck profile here. I literally might just clip it from here. I genuinely might just clip it and edit it. So say hi, YouTube guys. Jake the Mountain, I hope they hit Puppet so we can get more creative with Sanctifier, using it for utility cards like Jinzo or Spell Canceller. Yeah, it would be nice if they like banned all the special summon ones, right? They can just ban Ido, Ra's Disciple, DD Arthros, and that, and then just like. I mean, obviously, then there'd be the barrier statues, though, so it's like, God, you'd have to do them all. But I agree, like, Puppet's just, like, a cut above the rest, so I'd see why that would still make a difference on some level, you know? We got 3 Nibiru here. It's still a cheap card, and it's the best hand trap in the game right now. We don't have any other hand traps to pair with. I mean, we could run Ghost Spell. The issue is, though, I still think a single Nibiru is pretty good. And also, we have a lot of stun in the game right now. There's a lot of people just grinding with stun. So if you're just like locals grinding, or grinding your ranked with your new branded deck, you're gonna see a lot of it. So I think that having this package of 2 Pankratops, which is quite a cheap card, Harpy's Feather Duster, another cheap card that blows out. I mean, Pankratops being a 2-for-1 is just really good. Also, just having that quick play package of 2 Pankratops, 3 Cosmic Cyclone, then 3 evenly matched to get over anti-spell and summon limit is really good right now. So you don't lose to an anti-spell or a summon limit, and then you also have your own summon limits. Very cheap card unless you go for the QCRs, and then you're able to play through multiple hand traps, or when you get hand trapped a few times, you can just set summon limit and then turn skip your opponent. It works really well on voiceless. It works really well on fire decks, obviously, and branded. So any other questions on the deck list, guys? I think we did a good job of at least keeping it to like somewhat budget. It's like around, it's like 180. I mean, is Super Poly something we could take out? I guess that is, but I mean, we could. But I don't know. I want to keep Super Poly, and you need to have some power cards. And I think Super Poly is one of your best cards. And if you're not running the Sanctifier, like just having Super Poly Blowout is super important in my opinion. Also, just that Mirror Jade, the mirror matches going on with branded. In voiceless, if you don't have Super Poly, you're just like, oh my god, like what are you doing? Not having the thrust as well, like you just need more options, and you're gonna have a lot of cards in hand for discard fodder, just between the Edgem chains and stuff like that. So with that being said, that was the budget deck, brand deck profile / like review. I have to thank you all for helping me make it. Can I please not get imper- Did you know that I have channel memberships now? This is the best way that you can support the channel and get some awesome perks. You get access to the hidden Discord group chat, where you get to ask me any questions about your decks. You get early deck lists, some early videos even, and exclusive emotes to use in the YouTube chat. And you get to duel me once a month. The best part is you get to support amazing branded and Yu-Gi-Oh content going forward. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for the memberships down below. Thanks for watching the video.